Hello, one and all. Welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. Ilia Topuria has some interesting comments on the Dagestani fighters. I find these comments extremely interesting. Those comments were made on a recent episode of the Full Send podcast. Ilia was a guest recently on that podcast. And let's get into Ilia Topuria's comments. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe. Click that notification to get all of this that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Ilia Topuria, some interesting remarks directed towards Dagestani fighters on obviously a recent episode of the Full Send podcast. Ilia claims that the Dagestani fighters lose all of the important fights and they don't have stamina or something to that effect. That's kind of halfway true, or maybe like not even halfway true. The reason I say that is I'm not sure who he's referring to. Are you referring to Umar Nurmagomedov? Is that the guy you're referring to? Perhaps he's referring to Umar Nurmagomedov, because there's been two other Dagestani fighters predominantly dominating, right? Aside from Umar Nurmagomedov, now there have been other fighters, that fought in the UFC, but haven't really quite reached the level of Khabib or Islam Makhachev, right? Islam has one loss in his career, in the UFC career, that is. It was a knockout, but it came early in his career, and he went on to have 14 wins in a row after that. So I kind of don't know if these words are directed towards Islam. Most certainly not. One loss for Islam came early in his career. He won all the big fights. He beat Charles Oliveira, beat Dustin Poirier, beat Volkanovski twice. So in all honesty, he kind of set Volkanovski to be knocked out by Ilia Topuria himself, just because obviously Volka was knocked out shortly before he went in there to get knocked out again by Ilia Topuria. So he can't be talking about Islam Makhachev, right? You most certainly aren't talking about Khabib Nurmagomedov, right? Khabib retired undefeated. Unblemished record. Let's see somebody else do that, right? You can make probably the case, but it's just like when you say all Dagestani fighters, I think Ilia has to be more specific. Who are you talking about? Are you talking about Umar Nurmagomedov? Umar fell short to, obviously, Mirat Vilashvili in... Obviously, the last fight for Umar, in the bantamweight division, obviously, but you have to be more specific if you're Ilia. Are you talking about Umar? Or are you talking about all of the Dagestani fighters? Because that cannot be true, right? So that's why I say that his statements are, this guy is very good at saying outrageous things. Sometimes these outrageous things are meant for a reason, and the reason, meant to provoke a response. And ultimately, he's fishing for that Islam Makhachev fight, and the guy's teasing a announcement of some sort of super fight soon. Maybe it is that Islam Makhachev fight. The guy keeps putting it out there. I think he'll probably get that chance just because, he's expressed disinterest in the rematch. He thinks that fans don't want the rematch, and he wants the Islam Makhachev fight. So, let's give him that Islam Makhachev fight. See how good this guy really is. If you made it this far, I appreciate you for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe for more.